We don't have the rule. We don't keep the rules of avodah today.
Okay,
We have
got
to
it.
have many things in place.
Okay, got it.
No.
Right, let's go in the other. Beautiful one.
Shem.
Doing it right in Shem. Right, all day. Let's anyone against.
The only reason why I was asking is because you were saying that a lower level is a benefit, and it is like not a relationship. You do something, but spiritually we have it. It is a little bit of resentment, and in the end, you do something at a love, it's a much higher level.
Yeah.
Is that metaphorically, spiritually still present, even though we don't have the concept of slavery now?
Yes.
Or it's not going to be until
No, metaphor and spiritually, it's exactly today.
Okay, got it.
That a Jew should be like a servant to Hashem.
You got it. Thank you, Rabbi.
Anything with Dick? No one's been with Phil? No, it's feeling until this. Oh, great.
Spiritually, there'll be an evidence.
Even if he's there?
Who's going to want to be an Eved Hashem?
Even if he's there? Yeah. I know.
You're not going to want to lose that mila. Being an Eved Hashem?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good question.
Oh, you mean very tight? Yeah. Oh, right.
Yes. Sure. It's all right.
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay.
Who are you?
This? Yeah. You beg it in the mochi, everybody. Take it in the mochi.
Anyone?
So pass on also.
Morning,
Good morning, guys.
Who's living in Houston? Who used to live in Houston?
All different 3 months.
Yeah.
That's the key. Right.
The biggest community in Dallas.
Take care of my kids.
So let's get straight to it. There was actually, I want to say, Beverly Basara. It's a woman that used to ask me, Shaila, she had a tremendous amount of problems with her heart. And actually, at the time, she had a major surgery. But and then today is her shloshim. Anyway, I figured today I'll talk about Taka. It's a very old Shaila. I mean, this is not a very contemporary Shaila. Already 50 years ago, this was it was contemporary 50 years ago, but a heart transplant in halacha. So, and there is this has been like, the problem with the organs with organ harvesting organs is that you have to harvest organ before the person is in ganzen mes lagamri. You can't take a b'sar mes, and it's not, it has no value. So when you want to transplant an organ, the organ so they really transplant it when the heart is still pumping. So the doctors claim that the brain has already stopped functioning on many levels. It seems to be very complex. It used to be that they said the shaila was more simple, but they seem to think now that it's more complex than they thought, and that the brain is shutting down, but the heart is still pumping.
We're also taking from people that way. That's going to be mentally retarded. People tell the families what they do.
That's another problem. How much truth is going on in the? So that's when they harvest. Bottom line is they're harvesting the heart when the person is there's one whole diun a shaklavataria, which is if you could consider brain dead. It's like in the Mishnah, it's very simple. You're supposed to test someone by their nose, which is the breathing of the heart. Mm-hmm. So and then there's the practical shaila. Once you allow brain deads, and who's going to measure it? Because it's very hard to measure it, and doctors could lie. There was a Rav that wrote an article about this 50 years ago in a Torah journal called Oida Mizrach. And he had a very, very, very interesting approach, which is, say the person is still alive. Maybe it's mutter to kill him in order to save someone else. It's a little revolutionary, but question is if you'd want to take one of their hearts. But it's hapcha. So here is so I want to present that angle of the argument. Obviously, we're not coming to settle today the shaila. Just b'toich hadvorim. There's another question. The person who's receiving the new heart. So they take off the old heart, and then he's connected to machine for some time until they put the new heart in. Effectively, so the shaila is he allowed to do that? Anyway, I'm going to deal with these two shailas. The person who has the weak heart, so they're cutting out his heart. So I don't think it's really a shaila. I'm just presenting the shaila the way it's being asked. And the person that brought up a very cute issue. Could a person live without a heart? Could a person live without a heart?
Have the machine.
Could a person live with a machine? Could a person live without a heart?
They can't
live without a heart.
Rabbi, they contact him with all the body, with different machinery, without the heart. The artificial heart for a few minutes.
Oh, okay, I hear.
Artificial hearts for many months.
Right.
For many months, yes.
Right. So Mitzvah will get to that in a minute. This was like I was in the bookstore for Hey Tavis, and I always try to pick up some new books, but like I have everything. But it's like something interesting because if it's a rear safe bet, I'm not about buying it anymore because I get them on Oitzah Chochmah. So now it's not anymore about rear svarim; it's about funny svarim that have something to sell. Yeah. If you sit on the Oitzah Chochmah 500 hours, you could do the same amount of research. But someone that really put in the hard work. So the Rebbe several times mentioned this. There was a saga that took place over 300 years ago. It was like the whole Yiddish Welt was on fire. Like I mentioned, Shabbos, the Chacham Tzvi lost his position as a Rav in Hamburg, and he went to Amsterdam because he said he paskin one way on this shaila. But the Rebbe thought that the Chacham Tzvi was right. But anyway, I'll get to it in a minute. So let's deal with the first question. Let's read in the little shtickle inside. I'm going to be Yeshaya Pik. Shola noida b'Yehuda madurat inyana cheshmich betzimanun tes. It's funny if you look at the tshuva, the noida b'Yehuda writes to him that the question that you're asking me is not negei la'alocha, so I didn't answer you very, very quickly. So I hope you'll excuse me. I was thinking to myself, it's so funny because little did the Noida Yehuda know that all, like today, all these shilas that in again life and death are really a lot of them in Hilchas Yisoid, the Torah and the Rambam, in the Gemara and Sanhedrin. So little did the Noida Behuda know that when he wrote that tshuva, he writes that a Bishaya Pik, I get a lot of shilas and Nagea Loch Lamaisa, but this shilah is not Nagea Loch Lamaisa. So I'm sorry, I waited to answer you. Little did Noida Behuda know that his tshuva is going to become a Evan Apina to so many contemporary questions which do involve life and death and this issue that he. But how could he know 300 years ago that that this is going to be so negeas? He writes them, okay, your tshuva is not so negeas. I'm sorry, I waited, but it's a long tshuva.
You know that Yehuda was so far, no?
No. He was Yehuda was Rav of Prague a little less than 300 years ago, like 480 years ago. Amasha Kosav Rambam Bepedek Aleph Bilchas Reitzeach the Matzilin Eschaya Yisha Behorgin Es Uber Shemesakin Eschaya Betam Roidef. It's the most unresolved Rambam. It's like well, there's a stick of the crime on this Rambam. The Rambam says that if she's having a hard time giving birth, you're allowed to kill the baby, save her life, because the baby is never heard of it. Once the baby already stuck at its head, there's ein doichem nefesh nefesh. This is the most unresolved Rambam. Anyway,
What's Roidif, by the way?
Roidif means he's running at the baby's running after her to kill her. So the Rabbi Shaya Pick asked,
You can't have both in one.
if the doctor says both are not going to live, so they're allowed to kill the baby. Shaila is who's allowed to kill the baby. If the woman's allowed to kill the doctor's allowed to kill the baby. But from the simple reading of the Rambam, it seems that the doctor's allowed to kill the baby.
How's she gonna kill the baby?
Exactly. So the B'shaya Pik said the Lomalei La Rambam Loimer Atam Mishum Roidef Abalav Zakimin Kala Ubrin Ein Chayavin Horgin Esa Uber Kedei Lahatzlimei. Anyway, who cares? If you kill a Uber, if you kill an Uber, you're not chayav misa. So that itself should be a good enough reason that that you're allowed to kill the Uber. So, but say Shuvla Ned Behuda Dota Mihiter Laharig yes Atrefe Bagdei Lahatzalos Shalom Zelo Shamanam Yel Before Benoid Behuda Shafilim Echet Trefe Echet Shalom Amrinan My Chos is the Dom the Dot Summit Tvei Havalagoin Rabbi Yeshaya Pik Choylakolov. The Gemara says, how do we know that you're not allowed to kill another Jew, even if your life depends on it? The Gemara says, Svaru, my choz is the dama the dog, sumach tvei. Why do you think that your blood is more red? So we'll see in a second that the Minchas Chinuch says, that if what happens if you're going to kill a ubor or you're going to kill a treifa, and you're going to save your life through that, so you're allowed to do it because your blood is more red than his blood. Your blood is more red. This guy's going to die anyway. He's a treifa. He's going to die. Your blood is more red. The Minchas Chinuch writes in Mitzvah Reish Tzadik Vav, V'si anoshim mivnei Yisrael she'amru lam akim tnu lo le'echad v'na'agenu im lav nahare kulchem dadim b'zeh yaharge kulam v'al yimser lehem nefesh achas miYisrael. Mishnah Perek Ches the Trum v'Rambam Perek Hey Hilchos the Torah halacha Hey. If the Goyim said to a group of people that deliver one of the Jews, otherwise we'll kill all of you. They're not allowed to deliver that person unless there's one person that's chayiv misa anyway. We pass him like a Rish Lakish. So the Minchas Chinuch says a chidush. Dimay b'neim terefa. If one of the people among them was a terefa, so they're allowed to give over the terefa. The lo shayach my choz is the dama the duhu sumik tvei midam terefa. Then chayovim alarigosei. It's a pelodic thing. He says. He says number one, he says you don't say, what do you mean? My blood is more red than this guy's blood because this guy is anyway a treifa. He's not going to live. And then he says even you're going to tell me, which he's right, because everyone is going to say, what do you mean my dama the sumach the tumah tvei? The Gemara only says it as a rationale, but not that kilo. That's the barometer. If your blood and his blood is equal, you can't kill him. Actually, kill him to give him over to be killed. But if you figured out that your blood is a little redder, then everything changes. It's Divrei Kabbalah. It's halacha l'moishe mesinai that the three things are yehorig v'al yaver. But the Gemara says svaru to rationalize it. You should understand the chaymer achet. But so he said that Minchas says, but anyway, we know then there's two parshas, Yisrei and Mishpatim. And in Mishpatim we say that we learned from the pasuk Maka ish v'meis moish yomas, and the Gemara learns from this Maka ish malamet sheinachayv at she'arik ben kayama, that if he killed a treifa, he doesn't get killed over it. So the truth is, the answer the answer that you could easily answer is, how could you bring such a raya? It's true, there's Pashas Yisrei and Pashas Mishpatim. Pashas Yisrei it says Lo Sirtzah, and Pashas Mishpatim Maki Ish V'Meis Mois Yumas. The Raven says in Baba Kama that the Maki Ish V'Meis Mois Yumas is only if you kill a Jew. If you kill a goy, it doesn't apply. Are you allowed to kill a goy? No, you're not allowed to kill a goy. The Raven says that's Lo Tirtzah. We see from here that there's two different things. In Pashas Yisrei we say Lo Tirtzah, you're not allowed to kill. Not allowed to kill a goy. Not allowed to kill a treifa. But you're not going to get punished over it. But you're not allowed to kill. So just because the Torah was mimat and said if a person's a treifa, you don't get, and you kill him, you don't get killed. Furthermore, there's a beautiful Or Sameach. The Or Sameach says, the Rambam says, Echad ha'hoyreg ha'bari v'ima yegoises b'dei adam can go and share horge shenot elamus v'rei ugoise horge ein bezdin me misin oisei. Ein bezdin me misin oisei. He says, no. Rambam wants to tell you the Bezdin can't kill him. It's a technical problem. Because this guy's about to die and he was killed, the Torah says, Maka ish v'meis mois yuma. And this guy's not an Eid, so you don't get punished. But, however, there's a deal. There's a din melech. There's a din. A melech is allowed to make that the country should be a good place. If people are allowed to kill, if they get away with killing ubrim, they're doing abortion. There's no issue. They're killing ubrim.
Yeah, they give it else to do it.
Yeah. So then the melech realizes that this is a problem. So he's allowed to say, you know what? The takim and din bezdin is not going to kill Prit, but I am going to kill Prit. So that's why True, but it's different. Here the Rambam is merames that be'etzem he would have been chayav misa, and therefore would make sense for the melech to. It's like makes sense for the melech to be mechayav misa. Elamai bezdin is so it's the diuk is like a very strong diuk. In other words, that Hilu Torah is saying that the sin is equally as strong. Killing a uber or killing a bar kayama or killing a treifa. However, the Torah says that l'inyan oynish bezdin, we're mad from oynish bezdin. But
what about b'dei shemayim?
Definitely, if that's definitely he'd be chayav b'dei shemayim. Definitely be chayav.
So there's still the ending of tshuva then.
For sure, definitely would be shemayim. And he brings a raya. And what's his raya? One of his the Meshach was the raya from something we spoke about recently. The Geir Amaleki told David that he killed Shaul, and David killed him. So he says, well, the Pashtus Shaul already committed suicide. He already jumped on his sword. Elamai, he was makarev his misa. He
Make it closer.
He made it quicker. So we see that even though Shaul was already treif, he was already a treifa, he was already harug, he was already dying. So David the Melech had the right to kill him, not Medin Bezdin, but the Melech. So
was that because he was also Malachite? Was he kill him because he was a Malachite?
No, it doesn't seem that way. It seems they killed him because of what he said. He says, whatever, you killed Mashiach Hashem. So anyway, there's an interesting Tiferes Yisrael, then the Yuma and the Mishnayos. He says there's a story that Ula was traveling with two people from Chuzoi, Bnei Chuzoi. One guy got angry with the other guy, road rage, and he sliced off his head. So he says to Ula, I did a good job. So Ula, what should Ula say? What should Ula say? Ula was worried about his life.
I didn't say you next.
So he said you did a good job. So Porah Shapir of it, the Porah Lebesa Shchita. So the guy that killed his friend said, I want to show you how good I did. So he picked up his head from his body to show him how good he sliced off his head. So so the Tiferet Yisrael says. So I don't understand how the Tiferet Yisrael even came up with such a funny thing. The Tiferet Yisrael said you're not allowed to send someone. You're not allowed to pay a hitman to kill your enemies. You're not allowed to do that, even though some people do that. That's the minig, and the Italians have a minig. The Italians have a minig to do that, but you're not allowed to do that. Huh? They have a minig.
You know the guy's coming to kill you. Isn't that like killing a rodef?
No, that's sure. But he said, oh look, you're not allowed to send someone to kill, and he sent one b'nei mechuzah to pick up the head of the other b'nei mechuzah. First of all, he just said chop it off. He didn't tell him go pick up his head, and because he died quicker. If he died maybe a second earlier.
John Dice's.
It
wouldn't say it as a Hanifa,
He said a Hanifa, yeah.
It wasn't that he really meant it. He just
No,
wanted
he just didn't want to say, okay, next. So
you can't paskin from a divrei Hanifa. It's not.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's funny. How do you even bring such a raya? Yeah, they'll do this. But to say ad kedei kach that was mutter to call him kili was first of all he never said anything, and second of all, who says he was mekad of his misa by picking up his head? The guy might have been equally dead. The guy might have been equally dead. So part of the it's a little gory, but Mechitesi that was mekad of his misa. There's like 100 things to say here. Anyway, let's summarize. There seems to be a shitta, a minority shitta. Rabbi I picked the Minchas Chinuch. I wouldn't add the Tiferet Yisrael, the Mamash Afoni Raya, this side, that say that you're allowed to save the life of one Jew by killing another Jew who is a treif, which is mechudesh mamish. So the question is, what's a treif? The Rambam says that even though by animals, it's only the 70 things that Chazal was iskim alayim, but by human being, it's if the yoimru aroifim shemakazu ein le ta'ala ba'adam abo yomus imalayim esanadav. The doctors again tell you that if this guy is not saved by miracle, he's going to die. That person is called a treif. So definitely, people when they're harvesting organs from people's bodies, it's by people that definitely they're on the way to die.
Trefa is not shchimra.
No, shchimra means he's mamish. Shchimra is not a halacha. Shchimra means he's in the process of dying. Trefa means that he has a mum in the body that if there's no miracle that's going to happen, he's going to die.
Like by a kidney, the person could be alive and well, could be me, and I'm donating a kidney. That's a transplant. It's not that God forbid I'm
right.
Right.
So a person missing a kidney, missing a kidney is not a trefa. But missing a heart is a treifa. Missing many different evarim pnimium are a treifa. So the bottom line is that so this guy wanted to come up with a chidush to say that perhaps it's mutter to kill someone again, even if it's not a Jew, you're not allowed to kill a goy. That if the person is a treifa, you're allowed to kill the person in order to save someone else a bakayama. Even though most shittas probably don't hold that way, but. If a person needs to receive, the person that asked me the question was not someone that was giving a heart or receiving a heart. So there was a different shaila. Who was giving the heart? I don't know. Maybe a goy. Mustama Chazok in America, it was a goy.
Make a difference?
Sure makes a difference. It sure makes a difference. Sure makes a difference.
You're saving a life. What's it?
No, but the emissaries today, they figured out they could take the hearts from Balei Chaim. They figured out they could take hearts from Balei Chaim. It's an unbelievable.
How do you live without a heart?
No, they take a heart from an animal.
Oh, okay.
Huh?
Almost there.
I think they're already there.
Yeah, but it's not the person that last one.
No?
They're trying.
You're working on it.
That would be really good when they get there. So it'll be less childless.
Yeah.
Right, the heart of a pig. They're working on the heart of a pig. So
doesn't work. You just heart those cells.
I know it sounds terrible, but I mean they'll definitely be better than
Today they're changing valve I changed valve. They give me a pig valve.
Right.
That's longer and
Right. But the whole heart, the question here was the whole heart. So there is a little bit of a cooler to look at, but it seems that most places, Noida Behuda, who could pass against the Noida Behuda? Noida Behuda says, no, that it's not true. You're not allowed to kill a treifa in order to save a bar kayama. Now is the other question. I think is a funny question. It's a non-question question, but here's the other question. The person who's receiving the heart has to consent that they're going to cut out their heart, they'll connect them to the machine, and then they put in the new heart. Are they allowed to, Apidin, are you allowed to allow that the heart should be cut out? So the truth is, I don't understand the shaila, Bachlal. Okay, so I want to tell you what this Rabbi Gershuni wrote in the Oira Mizrach, and I think it's funny, but I just like the cute pilpul. He says there's an old question that happened 300 years ago. What happened was in the city of Hamburg over 300 years ago was an Erev Shabbos, and there was a girl that was kashing a chicken for the family to make chicken for Shabbos, and there was a stray cat that came around. The cat just looking up. The cat wants something, so the Yidden were not eating the toil, so they called it the treif in the hearts. So the girl took the little piece and threw it to the cat. So the cat grabbed it and ran away. Okay, good. Now that stray cat is out of the way, she could focus on kashing the chicken. She opens the chicken. Mommy, there's no heart in the chicken. I don't see the heart. She said, come on, you probably threw it with the toil. You threw it with the treif and the hearts to the cat. She said, huh? The toil.
What's the toil?
The toil is...
what is that?
Look in Google Translate. The spleen, I think.
Oh, okay.
So the Yidden had a minhag not to eat it from the chicken. Anyway, no, you don't eat all these things anyway. It goes in the garbage can. But the Yid did eat, but the 12 they didn't eat. So they called it treif and a heart. So because it looks a little like so she said, Mommy, there's no heart. The chicken doesn't have a heart. What
right.
So mother says, come on, you threw it to the no, I did not. I know what I throw, and I know I wouldn't throw away something good to the cat. I did not give her but the spleen, and the chicken doesn't have a heart.
But that's not possible. But see, is that without the heart, it wouldn't live. I mean,
He lost his job over this. So yeah.
it's not shayach.
This 300 years ago in the city of Hamburg.
She has to check if it has all the worm, otherwise it's not going to trace.
No, you're not mechuyev to check, but if you already looked and you see there's a problem, you have to ask the shayla. So if you malay is treif. So the kitzer, the dayanim in the city said that the chicken was treif. So at that time in Hamburg there were two Gedolei Yisrael. There was a Chacham Tzvi and there was the Maram Zisk in Rothenburg. So the two of them did not see eye to eye. So in order to keep out of it, and any question. So in order to keep things simple, so they made a heskem between the two rabbanon that's from Sukkot to Pesach, the Chacham Tzvi Zerov, and the Maram is from Pesach to Sukkot, and they tried very hard not to mix in each other's business. Everyone was 6 months, he was Yoshev al Maduch, and the other 6 months he was sitting at home and learning. They usually tried very hard not to mix with each other's business. Like it's often that the Chacham Tzvi heard that Ayonim said, and he got very angry, Chacham Tzvi. How could you say such a thing? He said it's a shtus. He ended up printing a whole kuntres about this. And then now it's published in the Shalos Tshuvas. Tshuva Ayin Dalad, Ayin Hey, Ayin Vav, Ayin Zayin, Ayin Ches. So he said, how can you say such a dumb thing? How could a Baal Chai, if it was a big fat, and the mother said it was a big fat chicken. How can a big fat chicken live without a heart? How can so he said impossible. He brought a Zoya. Zoya says it's impossible to live without a heart, even for a sho'echas. It's impossible to live. So they started to argue for that's why the Rebbe quotes it. He said it's a funny thing that you paskin from a Zoya. Others said no, you can't paskin from a Zoya. What are you paskin from a Zoya? So the Rav in the city said maybe the chicken got very sick 3 days before the shechita, and the heart was holach v'nimik, and a few minutes before the shechita was natulas aleiv. It didn't have a heart, but it still, for a second, it still had a breath.
It would still be there, even if it got sick.
No, it could be nimic. Maybe
It's evaporate.
yeah, because the Pachad Yitzchak from the Yitzchak Lam Furtni, who's a Sfardi Poisek, he writes also a similar case about apparently the heartless chicken didn't only happen in an Ashkenaz.
So it's
setting.
possible for the heart to physically
Not only Ashkenaz chicken or heartless,
to disappear.
So he writes that there's a sefer from one of the Balei Musar Kadmonim that Alexander the Great said that his Rebbe, his Goyish Rebbe, Aristotle told him that you should never have daigus, because if you have daigus, it eats up your heart. Daigus eats up your heart. So he wanted to know if it's true. So he did a test of several animals that they put them in a dungeon and they made pachet for them. Like animals understand pachet. And they had a few days in tremendous pachet. And then they shechted them and they saw taka there was hardly anything left on their heart. That their heart was pashat melted.
Wow.
They tried it with many, many animals and they said that taka zoy. So he said that his Rebbe was right.
Problem with cats.
Huh?
They have a problem with cats. Or they will reject them. They get scared and it makes the whole thing. Their kidney or liver and something like this.
Yeah.
So they
Wow.
have to scare it or whatever. Very good.
They have to
Yeah.
check it before they steer it. So Milza Gavurcha Kamash will never get. So if your wife tells you, don't take it to heart, Shaifala, take it easy. So listen to her, she's right. You shouldn't take it to heart.
What the pasuk said, "Da'aga belevish yisihana."
That's why you're not allowed to leave the dag on the heart. So the other posik said, so the Maram Rotten Ziskin said, no, maybe so Bekitzer became a huge machloikis. Every who's who was involved in this machloikis. The Ponimiidis was involved in this machloikis. They wrote a shaila. There was the Smichas Chachamim, who was a grandson of the Maral of Prague, said
And that particular chicken that got shechted,
that heartless chicken ruined the Shabbos for that family.
With all this discussion, that particular chicken it may be spoiled anyway. So it would
By now it's spoiled 300 years
well,
later.
not now. I mean, at that time, if it was going on the question,
no.
it wouldn't have been
But the question went way beyond the chicken.
it was a general discussion.
Yeah, it turned into discussion. And there was someone that went.
What did the Chacham Tzvi say?
Chacham Tzvi is about 300 years ago.
What did he paskin?
He paskined that it's 100% kosher. He said it couldn't be that chicken should live without a heart. No one can live without a heart. How can you live without a heart? I feel a shoechus. You can't live without a heart. So
And the other side of the coin as well.
the other side of the coin. So there's a lot of other sides. There is the Rabbi Eifshitz made the mistake of asking. He was also a shtickler scientist. He asked the doctors in Hamburg if it's possible. So they had a special conference of doctors that sat on this question: is it possible for any animal to live without a heart? So they came back to the Rabbi Eifshitz. Rabbi Eifshitz was very respected Poisek, and he was really respected among the goyim. And we said it's possible, but not possible. They said it's possible that the heart should get so ruined that it looks to you that there's no heart. Mismasas, it's like that. It's possible that the heart is so. He wrote that the doctors told him that nimuk alev ves mekoyme memale dildul boser bialma. Okay, so the Rabbi Eifshitz said that he waited on the issue. He waited on the issue. Did he make a mistake? The son of the Chacham Tzvi didn't like him anyway. The Rabbi Yaakov Emden. So Rabbi Yaakov Emden said, "Why? Terrible thing. How could it be? Seyolomad Mesifre Shehevi Biyodem Ashahoydi Loi Ha'arelim Lahatir Chaser Slave Im Nimtze Kedmusa B'Meila B'Mayla B'Mokim Meshovi Elohim amalamdim lo lahoides es Yisrael. Das v'din. He went to the goyim to learn a halacha. V'loy lechinam holach zarziv eitzel oide vadas. Play on words. Oy lechinam holach. He made a mistake to get involved. He put his nose into this argument. Rabbi Yaakov didn't like him anyway. So,
But beyond the personal stuff, the other side of the coin.
so basically,
what?
it comes down to could a human being or any animal live without a heart? Rabbi Yonis and I, the Chacham Tzvi said it's impossible. It's absolutely impossible. And there was some that said, and then he got an ayin Nachrim. Naftali Katz wrote that he asked, he had a dayan in his bezdin, a Wolf Levi, and he had an old Shulchan Aruch, and it was written over there with a pencil. My seida b'mei agon maral miprag shalo nimtza lev betar negoilus bo hashayla lifnei agon maral miprag v'hiteres atar negoilus ba'amrei she'i efshel l'shum berya lichya is below lev afila rega echet bevade acher shchita nevda v'uheter gomer. Naftali writes that beklori ma'isa zem nismala kol abaydes oida v'amarti sisu b'nei moya im asveke shel kem kach shekivanti ladas adoini zikne agon, because he was a grandson from the Maral.
What is that?
Shemish beruach hakodesh kemefurshim asher bevade lo yotzet hakol metachas yodei. Befrat, he said b'yon echila, and befrat he said befrat over here shatar negoy lasoya bri ushmeina v'achos lo yo oimen de mitzape mosa yove liyodi v'akaimeno. He's got shum sofek li's choiche chobachtim. There's this is expression Chazal. Mosa yod v'yod. Akiva said, I was waiting my whole life. Mosa yod v'yod liyod v'akaimena. So he said this chatul, the cat, was waiting. Mosa yod v'liyodi, that I'll have a
piece of meat.
Yeah. So he said no. Any bottom line is, some of the Gedolei Yisrael said it's impossible for any living thing to live without a heart. Impossible. And others says that it is. So,
So it's
at
a question.
the end, he
sounds
brings
like
an
it's a
interesting, medical
debate.
question. Yeah, is it possible to live without a heart? Is it
But
possible?
that's verifiable. That's not a halachic
This
question.
was
That's
a big
that's
question
a
300 years ago. The Chacham Tzvi says, the Rambam says,
If you tell me it's a suffix, then that's a halachic thing. But if you tell me it's a question
It's a
of
metzius.
then
Right, that's why the Rabbi Naivshitz was right. What do you mean? You're saying you're asking, how could you learn Torah from a goy? He didn't ask the goyim, what's a pshat and toisvis? He didn't ask the Rambam. He didn't ask, like the Rambam says, what's a terefa? You have to ask the doctors if yeshla to all bit of for. Rabbi Yaakov Emden always liked to get onto the Rabbi Naivshitz's head if it was for good reason or bad reason.
But Rabbi, when today a shochet chicken, the chicken, few minutes she goes faster, she moving, she's still alive.
Right.
So the heart is still working.
Right.
Even though.
But what's the difference? The question over here was it possible this was a fat good chicken until the shechita was walking around good? Is it possible that it was missing the heart by the shechita? The Chacham Tzvi says impossible, and he brings a zoya. I want to finish off. There's a beautiful story that was told by the Chidush Edim. It's in the Sefer Maimon Mordechai. He said when he was young, there was a goyen that asked him, "Yingeman the bestakapoilo she'ilui." The Chazal say, it says, "B'chol levovcha, b'chol nafshecha, b'chol meidecha." What is it? "B'chol nafshecha, afilu noitelas nafshecha." Why didn't they say afilu noitelas libcha? So he said, I didn't want to answer him because I thought it was a silly question, and I have charota. I wish I asked him taka what's up shot. I don't know the answer. So l'choyde, why l'choyde could say a very simple answer, because maybe you could say the answer is that it's possible to take away the heart and the person should still live. Shema mino that's not true. You can't take away someone's heart and they should still live, and that's why taka it's a good kasha. It's taka a good kasha. Anyway, Chidush Edim answered in Apichsidis. He said that sometimes, and Shlomo Reb Doms says also a similar word. He says sometimes a person has a chayis navodas Hashem, and then the Eibusha takes away your heart or takes away your nefesh, your neshama, your excitement navodas Hashem. Still, you have to serve Hashem, even though you know that you're not having now excitement in your avodas Hashem. That's the of Mesidus Nefesh. You know that you don't have any excitement in what you're doing now.
Do it anyway.
You do it anyway. Anyway, back to our question. So Rabbi Gershuni, again, don't start screaming until I finish my sentence because I know it's going to get you a little nervous. But he says along this like this: that if you say that it's impossible to live without a heart, so to be also to allow the doctors to cut out the heart, you're allowing the doctors to kill. Later they're going to make Chias Mason, but they're cutting out the heart. So he says depends. If you say like the poiskim that you can live without a heart, so you didn't consent that they'll kill. But if you say like the Chacham Tzvi that cutting out the heart is instant death, so it's also to do. Okay, now that I told you, I know everyone is going to say, "Come on, Haksta China." The Lepoil Mamish, this guy is going to die, and now this surgery is going to save his life, and he's not dying. If true, if you take away the heart, the person's going to die. But today we have machines that allow to do the function of the heart for the 20 minutes or the 2 hours.
It's
Anyway, but I think that Sushtel was so brilliant that I thought I would share it with the Olam. It's tam l'shvach. I hear what he's saying in Lomdus. He's saying, look, if you're consenting that they would cut out the heart, you're consenting that they should kill. So if you say that a person could live without a heart, okay, so you didn't consent to a killing. But if you say that a person cannot live without a heart, you consented to a killing. Anyway, Lamaisa, I think that's preposterous because Lapoil. He's not killing himself because the function of the goof is going to continue because Medarke Refuah, we have a way to make sure we can't live without a heart. But there's a machine that's going to do the function of the heart, Hakachinik. So anyway, someone called me. Someone told me this week. It was a funny. He called at night. He said, "Oi, I just polished my shoes, and I realized tomorrow morning I'm going to California for a chazana, and there's a thing from Rabbi Yehuda Chosid that you're not allowed to polish your shoes. You're going out on the road. So, but these are my nice Shabbos shoes. I want to go to the chasna, the shoes. I can't go buy new shoes right now. What should I go to? Go to chasna with my sneakers? Should I take off the polish? What should I do? It's 12 o'clock at night. He says, I have an early morning flight. I'm going to Los Angeles for a chasna.
And what's the reason of Yehuda Chassid so we understand a little what we're talking about?
So the Yehuda Chassid Taka writes, in Ois Lamates, that Yesh Makpidim Shalayim Shechodem Esminolav B'Yom Shadar Kelotzes L'Derech. That's what he writes. He doesn't say a reason for it. We know for a lot of Chassidish Rebbes had very high regard, even though Noida Yehuda writes like, it's not in the Gemara. There's a famous tshuva about the Shidduch, and the names were the mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law and the father-in-law and the son-in-law. He says, don't listen to these Narish guys. It's not in the Gemara, but listen, the Poil, we very makbet the things that Yehuda Chassid said. We know there's a verse from the Alter Rebbe that he wrote for this thing alone that the Yehuda Chassid wrote about the polishing the shoes. If we needed to write a book, it would be a telephone book to fill up the oimika of the.
But
thing.
We don't have a reason, so
the question is, what's the reason? If we understand the reason, then maybe we can make the Lubavitcher Poisek. His name is the Ktsoisa Ashulchan, and he writes in Simon Samaches that Efshikim Azog that but he says that we could say a diuk. It says B'Yom Shadaite Lotzes L'Derech. He's going L'Derech. Maybe it means that he's walking in his feet. In the Derech, he's walking in the feet to Derech. He says a very funny svara, that maybe the Yehuda Chassid knew that just like a funny svara, that the reach that's on the shoes is gonna bring out the snakes, and it will be a sakona for the person that's walking. So that's why it was only b'yom shadaika lotzes derech, which is he's going with his feet. But if he's traveling on a plane, on a train, in a car, that's not what we're talking about. It's a little bit.
I have different answer.
Usually there's no snakes on planes.
I have different answer.
Yeah.
Maybe Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi was worried that you throw your money out when you polish. You're going in the road.
No, it's Rabbi Yehuda
Go
Chosed.
up.
No, it's Rabbi Yehuda Chosed. He was an Ashkenaz tzaddik. He lived about 1,000 years
He
ago.
wrote for his
Maybe.
family. What he wrote was for his family.
Some say he wrote only for his family. Right.
What I'm saying that he would think when you go in the road, you lose all the purpose of shining your shoes.
Yeah. So
That's why he doesn't want you to lose money. So he said, do
give
not
good advice.
do it.
Uh-huh. I'll tell you what I think. First of all, you should know that a lot of the big tzaddikim, I have here a sefer. I have it actually at home. I just made a copy. But he even saw it. It's a nice sefer. So he brings that the Baron of Bells had boots, and he was going to travel, and he was about to put on his boots, and he saw it was polished. So he asked what happened. So they said, "Oh yeah, we just polished it for you." So he said, "No, chas v'shalom, I'm not wearing it. Bring me different shoes." We see that he was makbid, even if he didn't polish it, someone else polished it. And even if it was already it was already done, he dafka wore different shoes. So, huh?
Was it going to carriage? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. It's mashma that he was traveling. The lashon of the story is hoyatzorach linsoya pam. Linsoya mashma that he was traveling.
Yeah.
So, pashtus the Yehuda Chosed meant doesn't matter if you're walking your feet or you're traveling. So the emphasis is like this. I would say it comes down to a simple thing. Is it Rabbi Yehuda Chosed is talking mitzad nature, or he's talking something spiritual? You're going to say, what's the difference if it's nature or spiritual? The Gemara says naturally, the way the Eibusha created the world naturally, first is the night and then is the day. Naturally, first is the night and then is the day. But in Kedusha comes first the day and then the night, like the avodas in the Beis Hamikdash. In the avodas of the Beis Hamikdash, Hayoim hoylach acher alayla. First is the korban tamid shel shacher, tamid shel ben arbaim, and then hekta chalovim vevonim. Whatever's left over is on the mizbeach all night. In Kochim, we say that first comes day and then comes night. So I would say it depends. Would you say? If you say it was a natural, something in nature, something mitzad nature, it's something in nature. Rabbi Yehuda Chosed was masig that there's something in nature that the smell of the snakes. I don't know, something funny. There's something in nature. So then you would say the night before is part of the day. But if you say it's something spiritual. So in Kochim you could say the Laila is Oilach Acher Hayom. Anyway, I said it seems to me pretty simple. If you're going to a chasna, there's nothing. It's kodesh kadosh. And you're going to a wedding of a friend, right? So it's kedusha shabbat kedusha. You're going to go. What are you going to do with your shoes? You're going to dance.
And even if it's an issue in general, maybe for a mitzvah, it's be an exception.
Yeah, such a mitzvah like a meraktim lifnei chosan lakala. So I said I think it's a davar posher that should be mutter. Then I found that there's a sefer Tzlois Davram that says that by tefillas haderech you go first the day and then the night. But I'm not sure that you could, that this alone is a good reason. Who says that polishing the shoes has to do with tefillas haderech? But I hear it's a good svara because tefillas haderech is you're going on the road. But anyway, that was the story. What'd you tell him? I told him it's mutter because it's a dvar mitzvah.
So this person is makbid about all kinds of
ideas. I think
this person.
I don't know if all, but I know a lot of people.
To pick and choose. I mean,
no, you could pick and choose. This thing became a very common minhag for people to be makbid on, because we know that a lot of tzaddikim were very makbid on this one thing, not to polish your shoes the day you go out on the road, and they were makbid even if you're not going with your feet. You're just traveling with a train or a plane or a wagon.
Do we know there was a reason?
As I said, we don't know the reason. If we knew the reason, then we could talk about it.
In general, Rabbi Yehuda Chosed gives reasons for his ideas.
No, he doesn't give so much reasons.
Oh.
He gives reasons, but not. He says, "Oh, this is sakona. Well, this is not good. This is not going to work out good for you." But he doesn't say, well, "Why is it not going to work out good?" Tell me why it's not. He doesn't say.
He was a makubal.
Yeah. Okay, so one more thing. Someone asked an interesting shaila. He came to shul. He didn't yet say Bרכת Torah, nothing. He just rolled out of bed straight into shul. And as he walked into shul, to his good mazel, they gave him aliyah because he's a kohen. So there was no other kohen in the house. So they gave him an aliyah. Now he said, "Oh, wait a minute! I didn't say yet bechus Torah."
One can't be Yotzei the other.
So that was his question. Text me right away. What do I do? So the truth is that this sugya is brought twice in Shulchan Aruch. Simon Zayim and Kuf Lamates. The Shulchan Aruch says, "Im karu likre b'Torah koydem shevorach bechus Torah la'atzmoi, far nifter malavorach b'bechus shabach rabbanon de lagor b'mish nifter ba'aver rabba." The din is Simon Zayin. If a person didn't say yet bechus Torah and then he did the whole davening, he said, "Ooh, I didn't do bechus Torah yet." You say that you're already yotze when you said avas olam avar rabba, you're yotze already bechus Torah. Now there's a whole discussion if right after davening you have to chap a gemara and start learning or not. If you didn't, anyway, we say safek brachas, so you already said shema, and you're yotze. You don't say now the brachas of the Torah. However, the Mishnah Berurah says that over here you'd still have to. The Chazal said 3 brachas on the Torah, and here after bechus Torah you should say the other 2 brachas on the Torah. But there's a beautiful chiddush from the Pri Megadim in his introduction to Hilchos Kriyas Torah. He says if they call you up to the Torah, he says in general, the mitzvah Kriyas Torah, there should be a bracha, asher kedushanim b'mitzvos v'tzivanu, likir b'Torah. Moshe Rabbeinu made a takana, Yeshua v'chulu v'moisem. He says because they relied on the morning, you say asher kedushanim b'mitzvos v'tzivanu al divrei Torah, or lasik b'divrei Torah, whatever your so you already made a bracha in the morning. I check the shana. So this guy, yeah, we have plenty of cake. Where's the cake?
On the there.
Here.
Okay.
Parrots, you ready to put on film?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, very good. Very good. Okay, very good. So the Pri Megadim says that in the morning when you say that already covers your aliyah, but this guy that got an aliyah, if possible, he says the best thing would be while you're walking to the bima, you should quickly say Ashek Shana Mitzvos Tzivanu Al Divrei Torah. Arev Nashem Alakena Divrei Torah. V'ni Anachnu Mitzvayim with Kollel Bרכת Hashem. Then Baruch Hu Hashem Avoda and Nasher Bocher Bona. That would be the best thing to do. It's the thing is that.
And you may even tell the guy by the wait a moment, so he.
No, that's a techel tzibura. You shouldn't make people wait, but it shouldn't take that long to do. It doesn't take that long to do.
Just to say
Say the 3 brachas, but if you didn't, then you make asher bocher bonu, and when you finish, you make the other 2 brachas, and then you say like regular. You just you say our minig is to say bechus koinim and the mission of elu dvarim shein lam shir, whatever. Regular to say the other 2 brachas of the Torah. It's interesting because in the morning when you say avas olam avar rabba, that's like a super duper bracha. Like today they have something called the super fruit, and that covers all 3 brachas. The poskim lemen on that the bracha shebocher bonu, because listen, at the end of the day it's only 1 or 3 brachas, and the Gemara says that we should say all the brachas. So therefore you have to say the other 2 brachas either before or after. Anyway, Baruch Hashem, we started the work the week with Limud Torah. That through learning Torah, every one of us has an aliyah.
Amen.
This week is the first week of Chodesh Adar. We started with Limud Torah. That we should have a tremendous aliyah this week. Should go up and up and up.
Amen. Amen.
how long did he read?
Oh.